So, what's the plan? Happy New Year, everybody. And I hope everyone's got some great aspirations for the year, because I do. I am going full bore on making blocks for my quilt. And, I have to fight the temptation to jump around on different projects. The thing is, I'm trying to not do multitasking so much. And that means that I am going to focus on one quilt at a time. But I spent a little bit of time sorting through some of the fabric, and oh man, just touch a piece of fabric and I get inspiration on certain colors and patterns, and I'm been going through about maybe 7 bags out of 50, or 7 containers out of 50, and I'm remembering fabrics that I've already passed through, and I'm like, oh, as I encounter a new piece, this would match really nice with that. And I try not to get overwhelmed with the idea, but while I'm sorting, every now and then I'm tugging out a couple of pieces that I think would go well. So, yeah, I have this blue colored quilt in the making, but I've also got this idea for something red. So I'm getting some red fabrics assembled while I'm sorting. And maybe I need to kind of be mindful of how many categories of sort I've got going on. I need to probably not do micro sorting so much, all the micro categories. If you recall from my past videos, I'm right now sorting through, just trying to separate fabric that is not cotton from fabric that is cotton, and of those cotton selections, ones that I can make into a quilt, or ones that would be ideal for a quilt, I am sorting those as pattern and florals. There's a lot of floral prints, so they got their own category. Holiday, there's Christmas and Halloween, got those in a different category. And also solids. And then eventually, when I get through the pile, when I get through the whole hippo and the whole antelope, and discover what's cotton and what's not cotton, fabric ideal for a quilt and fabric not ideal for a quilt at my beginning stage. I've seen some quilts out there where they use some crazy fabrics. Notably, polyester. Polyester can be a category of its own, but I need to focus. I don't need to multitask, right? Focus. It's about getting this blue quilt done in my spare time. Does anyone else have trouble finding spare time to work on their crafts? I sure do. I have 2 school-age boys, and a husband, and a farm, and a garden, and not only like a garden, but like a vegetable garden, a vineyard, an orchard, a flower garden, and there's gardening that I do for aesthetics, and there's gardening I do for food. So one of those has a higher priority. Can you guess which one? Well, and then there's the animals on the farm, and the milking, cooking the food, cleaning the house, and I'm writing a book. So it's actually turned out to be 3 books in one, so it's like a trilogy. And I've come a real long way on that. I think I've gotten from start to finish. I've gotten all my chapters, and now what I'm having to do is go back and reread. So I started at chapter 1, and I'm reading through it trying to do like a editing session, self-editing. And there's some questions I have about the book. I mean, it is so big. I'm having to keep up with characters. So while I'm writing my book, I'm writing notes over to the side, like, oh, make sure you mention this character later on. This character seemed important at the beginning, and I very well may have. But some pieces I've cut out, some pieces I've added. And eventually, I'm going to have to look for a literary agent. I'm going to do the query game, where you send out queries to different people to see if they would be your agent and market your book, sell your book, help with editing, all this. It is a game that I am very new in, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing everything I can to educate myself. So the ideal thing is that I get this book finished and I sell it, and that's a way that I can make income and contribute to the household, income-wise, inputs. Right now, my major contribution is that I'm managing and running the farm and keeping everything alive and providing food for the table. There's eggs, there's milk, there's butter, there's the vegetables that are in season, there's the stuff that's been canned or frozen. You feed the pigs and then you harvest the pigs, so I contributed to that by, keeping everything alive and healthy and happy. That's important. Well, I'm wanting to bring in money. I would love to try to pay down some debts. And I've been racking my brain on what kind of realistic goals, measurable realistic goals, can I make. And I thought, if I can make $1,000 a month, should I aspire for that? And then if I make 1,000, that'll be 12,000 for the whole year. That would definitely knock out one of our debts that we have. Now, we do not have credit cards, we do not have car payments, but we have some debt on our land. So the house is paid for. We paid cash to build the house on land, but we have payments for the land still yet to go. And it would just be awesome. What an achievement if I could make some money and pay down that debt, and we not have to worry about paying interest, because I hate paying interest. Whenever we do the bills, I look and see, how much of this bill went towards interest. And it's not huge, people. It's like, $26 for interest on this one, and $115 of interest on this one. And for some people, I hear it's even worse. But I don't want to pay any interest. The only way that I could think of to do income, I mean, it would be great for this book to sell, but that seems so pie in the sky right now. I don't want to rely on just making the book become something, because it might not sell. It might take me a year to find someone interested in buying it. And I've decided that I'm going to try to just hire myself out for odd jobs. And I'm going to get the word out. So there'll be more on that to come. Let me get back to this project. Look at this swimsuit. I have been ripping the hems, and I took out the mesh part of it, but I love this pattern. I loved it so much when I found it at Goodwill, and I wanted to do something with it. Well, it is a really beautiful blue, and the fabric seems like it will work. It's a swimsuit kind of material. I don't know what it is, and maybe if I was smart enough, I would have looked at the tag and been able to tell you exactly how much percentage synthetic it is, but we're just going to work with it because it's in my stash. And it's got these pineapples. It's also got this distressed look on the blue. So if I wanted to, I can do solid blue, which is like on one side of the fabric, or I could do the distressed part of the blue, which is on the other side of the fabric. I'm not sure, and as time goes on, will it further distress? Like every time the quilt gets washed, will the color distress? Now, so here's my existing blocks. I'm so proud of myself, but I noticed I might have done something wrong. So this is what I wanted those all to look like, where the light square folds out onto the darker sides, the darker squares. And on this one you can see where I didn't make that happen. I've got a portion here where I've got the dark actually folded over on the light side. See, here's a comparison. I don't know if that's a really big no-no, but hey, this is my first quilt, so I am being very lenient. I'm being very lenient. I don't want to let any kind of perfectionism give me a bad taste on, I'll never be able to make a perfect quilt. Well, we're not going for perfection here. We're working on skill level, and I'm super beginner, but I'm laying this out for concept. Now here's my thought. Is this almost done? Do I just cut out the Aloha pattern there and make that part of the 9 patch? You can kind of see where I'm going with it. Or do I need another type of 9 patch block, like a second color scheme? I want to keep with the blue, kind of this monotone situation. But I think this looks great. I'm in love with this already. So kudos for a good start to the new year. I hope that everyone out there has got some great projects lined up and in mind for their creativity and their talent. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.